You know, some stories are just fun. They entertain you for a bit, and then you move on. But then, there are the stories that leave a mark, the ones that take a sledgehammer to everything you expect. Today, we're talking about the one that completely broke the internet, and honestly, maybe redefined shock value for a whole generation. This is the anatomy of the Jujutsu Kaisen Shockwave. Ah, yes, the line that launched 1,000 memes. I mean, you've seen it everywhere, right? It's pure, uncut confidence from the man at the absolute top of the food chain, Satoru Gojo. Someone asks him if he'd have trouble with the literal king of curses, and his answer is just so simple, so arrogant. And for the longest time, we all believed him. And then, this happened. With one single brutal panel in the manga, the author didn't just kill a character, he executed the entire fandom's sense of safety. The internet went into an absolute, complete meltdown. Nothing was ever the same after this. But look, to really understand the impact of his death, the sheer size of the crater it left, you have to understand just how high up he was. We need to talk about who Satoru Gojo really was. He wasn't just a guy. He was the pillar holding up his entire world. See, Gojo wasn't just a sorcerer. He was the sorcerer. The series makes it crystal clear from the jump that his birth, just him being born, permanently shifted the balance of power on a global scale. The bad guys, the cursed spirits, they literally had to get stronger and smarter just to exist in the same world as him. He was a walking nuclear deterrent. And his power set was, well, it was just broken. Completely unfair. The 6 eyes meant he could see everything all the time. The Limitless let him control space itself, which basically made him untouchable. His attack, Hollow Purple, oh, that just erases matter from existence, no big deal. And his ultimate move, Unlimited Void, it was an instant win button. The dude was a walking cheat code. And this quote, wow, this tells you everything. This wasn't just him being arrogant. This was him after a near-death experience where he basically achieved enlightenment and touched divinity. He's not just saying he's the best. He's declaring that he is the peak, a god walking among mortals. But you can't have a god without a devil, right? For every untouchable object, there has to be an unstoppable force. So now, let's talk about the other side of the coin, the absolute antithesis to the honored one. Let's talk about Ryomen Sukuna. This guy wasn't just a villain, he was a natural disaster from a forgotten age, a being of pure, unapologetic evil. He was so powerful that back in the golden age of sorcerers, they couldn't kill him. The best they could do was chop him into 20 pieces, seal those pieces away, and pray he never came back. So, how does this ancient, world-ending evil make his grand return? Through some dark, complicated ritual? Nope. It's because a good-hearted high school kid, Yuji Itadori, in a moment of desperation, swallows one of his rotten, cursed fingers to save his friends. And just like that, Yuji becomes a walking prison for history's greatest monster. And so the stage is set. You've got the modern era's strongest versus history's strongest, the protector of humanity versus the living embodiment of destruction, the honored one versus the king of curses. The entire story, right from chapter 1, was a collision course just waiting to happen between these two. And that collision was scheduled for one single night, October 31st, Halloween, in the crowded streets of Shibuya. The villains were smart. They knew they couldn't beat Gojo in a fair fight, so they didn't try to. They set a trap designed not just to beat him, but to remove him from the game entirely. And the night just unfolds with terrifying speed. 7 p.m., the trap is sprung. By 8:31, Gojo strolls in by himself. For the next hour, it's absolute carnage, but the villains are just stalling. And at 9:26 p.m., it works. Gojo is sealed. And just a little over an hour later, with the protector gone, Sukuna is let loose. The entire world broke in less than 4 hours. But it's how they did it that was so horrifying. It was just pure cruelty. Right before they trapped him, they unleashed 1,000 innocent people that had been twisted into monsters. Gojo had an impossible choice: use his domain for just 0.2 seconds and incinerate every single one of them to clear a path, or fail. They didn't just want to trap him, they wanted to break his soul. And once the god was in a box, the devil got to play. Sukuna, now in full control of Yuji's body, unleashed a level of destruction that was just apocalyptic. He flattened a 140-meter radius of the city, killing thousands of people in the blink of an eye. The ultimate protector was gone, and the ultimate destroyer was free. The price of that one night was just staggering. Kento Nanami, the tired, honorable mentor figure, dead. Nobaru Kugisaki, one of the main trio, the fierce female lead, dead. And Satoru Gojo, the strongest, sealed. 3 pillars of the entire story just gone. And this moment, this is the one that just haunts you. Nanami, about to be brutally murdered, looks at Yuji and passes the torch. He puts the weight of the entire world on the shoulders of this kid who has to watch him die. The trauma is just off the charts. So, what does a world without its god look like? Well, it's chaos. It's absolute despair. It's the end of an era and the beginning of a total nightmare. For our hero, Yuji, it's a complete psychological collapse. He wakes up, sees the crater where a city used to be, and knows that Sukuna used his hands to do it. His spirit is just shattered. He no longer sees himself as a hero, he sees himself as a mass murderer. And the world itself just descends into madness. The system turns on its own hero, labeling Gojo a criminal. The entire power structure crumbles. Then some ancient bad guy kicks off a nationwide death game. This wasn't the end of a story arc. This was the prologue to the apocalypse. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Shockwave didn't just stay in the story. These traumatic, fictional events bled over into our reality and created a cultural moment I don't think we've ever seen before. The fandom's reaction was this wild mix of genuine grief and dark humor. Nah, I'd win became the internet's go-to meme for overconfidence. Airport copium was the desperate theory that he wasn't really dead, just hanging out in the afterlife. The Gojo cycle of hope and crushing disappointment became a weekly ritual for millions of people. It was a global coping mechanism playing out in real time through memes. And this wasn't just some niche thing. The moment that panel dropped, the internet exploded. Mainstream news sites were reporting on it. The death of Satoru Gojo dominated the online conversation for weeks, showing just how powerful a fictional character's death could be. And really, that's what Jujutsu Kaisen built its brand on. It became known for being completely and utterly ruthless. It was volatile, it was unpredictable, and it was absolutely not afraid to kill its darlings, just to see what would happen next. Which really just leaves us with one final big question. By killing its untouchable icon, its most popular character, in the most shocking way you could imagine, did Jujutsu Kaisen create the single most unforgettable, earth-shattering moment in all of modern anime? Well, that's a debate that's probably going to rage on for a very, very long time.